You are now fixated on the finest quality of educated and opinionated brothers, black brothers, who take the free time you most have generously donated to us and curate a channel free of fuckery or bullshit and write with wisdom and insight. We turn spoils to royal, we turn doodles to murals, we turn dollars to euros, weed to florals, or florals to weed, or whatever you need. We proceed to give you these
and many, many more motherfucking episodes.
What's going on? It's your boy Nikki Duce, a.k.a. Mr. No Disrespect, and you're now tuned in to No Disrespect. I got a couple guests joining us today.
Oh, yeah.
Special guests, actually. Family.
Uh-oh.
And some just, newly acquainted people that we meeting up with. So I'll go ahead with that one.
Well, you already know who it is, Swap in the building. Tell my baby you're back in town. And I'm here with some special people. Like we said, we got sister, Kim, Razil.
Hello, how are you?
Uh-oh.
What's good?
Very
What's
long
good?
overdue, huh?
Mr. Razil in the building.
And I seen bro on the website, Southeast Mortgage in the blue suit, Mr. Shaun Graham.
Thank y'all.
Mr. Shaun. I thought you was going to make an announcement.
We got a regular old nigga.
You already know. It's your boy Chill, a.k.a. Mr. Snack That Smiles Back. You feel me? Mr. Pepperidge. It's your boy Ride Good in the flesh. What's good, y'all? How y'all doing?
I'm not going to follow up that. So,
Wow.
This is going to be a little different episode. We actually want to inform y'all on some shit. Usually we get on here and we talk our shit. Usually we just go off the cap on this one. But this episode, we want to actually help y'all out because we had a point in our lives, where we looking to do major things. And one of the key factors is, want to have a place, a home to do that. So one of my goals, personally, before I turn 30 is to get a big asset under my name. A home is one of those in my vision.
You sound like you growing up and shit.
I'm getting older, man. I'm getting older, so the vision changing.
We growing up.
So two key people that's going, I'm going to try to align and help me out with that. Kim, Shaun. I want to know, though, I know Kim, but we're going to get to your story. But Shaun, kind of want to hear, how you got into where you at right now, and is executive vice president of the Southeast Mortgage?
Correct.
Okay, so how did you get into that field, that path?
All right, so I just want to tell y'all the truth. This is kind of how it came about, right? So I graduated from University of South Carolina. I started working with the Houston Texans in their expansion football season, right?
Oh, man.
And
shout out Texas.
All right, then.
Shout out.
Wait, let me tell you, it looks glamorous that you work in the NFL or whatever, but you got to understand, you're working under somebody else. And if they get fired, guess who gets let go?
You out next.
Everybody on the staff. So I was on the staff of Coach Don Capers. He was let go. I was let go, and I was sent packing. Now, I'm from a very small town in South Carolina, and my brother was working here as a professor at Georgia Tech. And he's like, Shaun, you can either go back home and work in the plants. I know y'all don't know nothing about that. Y'all from the big city. But when you go up in a country town, there's nothing but plants you can work on. You make $10, $11, $12 an hour, and that's what your future going to hold, right? So he's like, Shaun, you come to Atlanta and see what you can find, right? So my first job I got was working as a store manager for Eckerd Pharmacy. And I'm a person, I always go and talk to older folks, Older folks have been through.
Right. They're going to drop some gems on you.
Just get some wisdom.
Get some wisdom.
Okay.
And this older guy, I used to always drop our company mail off to. His name was Sam Hurd. Shout out to Sam. And he would always say, Shaun, you got a great attitude. I think you'd be good at doing this. Because he owned a mailbox, et cetera, store, and he used to do people's taxes. And he used to tell me, hey, this man just right here just made $130,000 doing mortgages, and I know you better than him. And me being from a small town, I couldn't see that because I never met anybody that made that kind of money, right? So I was like, man, y'all ain't gonna get me in no scam. Y'all ain't running no scam on me.
All right, that's what you start thinking.
Exactly, that's what I started thinking because my aspirations weren't that big. My mind hadn't expanded to that level, right? So he was like, Shaun, I think you'd be really good at doing this. You should give it a shot. And I was like, I'm good where I am. Because after you make a certain amount of money, I don't care if it's $25,000 a year, $30,000 a year, you get used to living on that kind of budget, right?
Yeah.
So I was comfortable, I was working my job. I can get off at a certain time. I go hoop. I'm a hooper, so I used to go hoop for, 4 or 5 hours a day, in the gym.
He ain't trying to get busted after this, but go ahead.
Hey,
I already know. I already know.
Hey, line
Look.
it up. I'm good. I'm still good.
But you was feeling complacent, like at that point in time.
Very much complacent because I can have a car. I can still go to get the J's I wanted. I can go to the club and buy me whatever I wanted.
You had a routine.
Had my routine.
Gotcha.
I couldn't get nothing special. You know, I couldn't throw no money in the air, but I could go out to a certain restaurant. If I can go to what's that restaurant?
Papa Do's.
Boom.
Yes.
Papa
Hey,
Do's.
that's a
I
black
love
man. That's
Papa
a black man
Do's for
heaven.
I already knew what he was on.
Hey, black man
that
heaven,
seafood
you know?
platter.
Yeah, and I can mess around and give me an appetizer every now and then too. You know what I'm
Hey.
saying?
And desserts.
And dessert.
Nah,
man.
I'm dessert. Okay. All right, hold on.
All right, bro. Why you always got
just
to?
saying.
Let's focus back on. Yeah,
Okay.
just go ahead and finish your story.
So you know, long story short, like I was a store manager and I became a training store manager, which is supposed to be the highest level you get before you become a district manager.
Okay.
All right. Listen, it sounds good, but it really wasn't good, right? Your pay grade ain't that much difference. But we were building a store in off Spout Spring Road here in Metro Atlanta, well, in Flowery Branch area, and I was doing payroll that day, and I had a bunch of other store managers helping me develop this store. It's a brand new store. It's still there off of Spout Springs Road, and I was doing payroll, and I noticed in my payroll that people who were assistant managers to a store manager were getting paid more than I was.
Hold on, that's funny with the money.
Right.
Now, here's the thing is, so you got to understand, I'm a store manager. I got multiple stores I got to turn around. And usually what they'll do, well, what Eckerd did was they put me as a good black man, we put me all in the hood spots to turn it around.
Man, he's stepping on my toes, bro. Man.
So what they do is they find somebody who can tolerate that kind of crowd, and you got to turn that store around. But they also complain to you why your store has more shrink than the guy who's in Johns Creek or Alpharetta or whatever. We got two
in the
different
white areas, quote unquote, for the people
you know,
that don't know.
Exactly.
You know.
That's exactly what it is. There's two different type of clientele there. You know, I got Ray them, they'll come in the store and take their whole hand down my aisle and just swipe all the
Merchandise on the floor.
on the floor. And
Gotcha.
keep it moving. And parents ain't doing nothing. You go into Johns Creek, you know, everything's right there in place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I saw that they were making XYZ, and it made me mad because I can't do nothing about it because my company already said, hey, this is what we're going to pay you. Who I'm going to yell to? The district manager? What is he going to do? You know? And I walked over to Sam's store that day, and I said, Sam, what did you say I would be good at? Mortgages? Okay. Now, keep in mind, I didn't know nothing about mortgages.
All right.
And I always make this joke now that's saying, like, man, when I got in mortgage, I probably couldn't even spell mortgage. That's how new it was to me. I mean, it ain't funny, but it's
Fair
like, that's
enough.
Nah, it ain't no
I was-
lie, because
I
I
was
was trying to Google it, and I was like, hold on, what am I
was gonna
missing?
say, dead ass. I learned how to spell it because of this episode.
sorry. So,
Wow.
Hey, look, so now I can relate to you, right?
Yeah.
I can relate to you because I'm serious. I couldn't even spell mortgage. I was like, all right, bet. What you say I was good at? All right, I'm gonna apply. Now, you know, I do come from like a faith background, and I ain't gonna say I'm super spiritual. You know, I just come from a faith background. So I was like, look, I just need something where if I'm gonna put 100% into something, that I get paid for that.
I heard that.
Because I was doing 100% work for Eckert's, and they weren't paying me for it.
That kill your spirit right there.
It kill your spirit. So, you know, fast forward, I saved up like 3 months worth of income. You know,
Okay.
that's what they tell you to do. Is save 3 months and you quit your job and just go try something else, right? So I ended up doing that, and I haven't looked back since. I decided to bet on myself that day, and the funny thing about it, my parents were like, "Boy, what you doing? They paying you good money." Now, good money to somebody from the country, like I was making $50,000 a year.
That ain't good money.
In the country, it's great money because my dad retired at making like $32,000 a year with a family of 6.
Wow.
I be thinking, how they do that?
How they do that? Okay, so
Wow.
yeah, we didn't go out to eat much, right?
You know, Papa Do's.
No, not at all.
Unless you going fishing.
Yeah,
Right, you catch it yourself.
Hey, we fish fry all day long.
They probably fresh.
From fish that my dad done went and caught, my uncle done went and caught. You know, they shoot a hog or whatever they gotta do.
Yeah.
You know, we eating good. You can
Remember
always
this
eat
country
good
for real.
You can-
Always
you
said
can
a hog.
always eat good in the country.
Man.
That's one thing they can do. They can always eat in the country.
I heard it's worth more too because you actually killed it too. You know.
Nothing go to race. They got a saying in the country, we eat everything from the rooter to the tutor. So my parents got on me because they're like, Shaun, what are you doing? Why are you gonna stop away from this job right here? They're paying you real good money. You just gotta, keep on keeping on. I was like, man, I believe that there's something better for me personally. And I'm just gonna step out. And I got around people who helped expand my thinking.
You said you got around people.
I got around people to
Gotcha.
help me.
Okay.
So I remember this clearly. One of the first couple weeks of my jobs, for me, you take on a new experience. I went to the first black. There's only one black person at the company I joined, and I was like, man, is this legit? Is this like I pulled her aside?
Hoax.
Yeah, Hey, tell me what's really
Right,
good.
tell
You
us.
been
You're
here for a
going to
little while.
expect to give you the real shit.
Yeah, I don't care what they talking to me. I need you to tell me one-on-one. Like, is this?
You felt like it was Get Out.
Hey,
You walked in the car. You walked in the set. They all said, huh?
She looked at you and said, no.
yeah. So I pulled it aside just to make sure what I was doing was right, because it's a step. Whatever you do, you want to make sure you're making the right steps, right? So, she told me, yeah, it was legit, and she was telling me how, like, yeah, I charge XYZ on this credit card, and I pay it off every month. And I was looking around like, what? You pay off a credit card in a month? Because I'll charge $2,500 on a credit card, and I'm paying $15.
Wow, I'm paying that. All right, that
35.
take about 3-4 months.
Hey, look.
It's increments.
Hey, look, you win a spades game, and you can get a little bit more. Like, man, I put 50 on that. Just paying off a credit card was unheard of. Like, who does that? So, fast forward, like I said, I got around some people who increased my thinking and also helped me develop good habits.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's important too, because I feel like a lot of times people think like, oh, they met this person, they met that person by chance. You got to be deliberate when you're trying to surround yourself around people who got a vision, who are trying to do better, do greater.
Exactly. Let me back up and tell you one last story. This story, I was in college, and my roommate was going to. I played football in school. My roommate had got drafted by Arizona Cardinals, right? And we came down here. His agent sent him down to Atlanta to wine and dine us or whatever. So we went to Michael Jordan's last game, and we ended up staying with a friend that he had in Jonesboro. And this friend in Jonesboro had a 2-story house. And you got to remember, I went from country to living in college. And the first time I was out, I went to Jonesboro here in Metro Atlanta. Mm-hmm. This dude had a 2-story house. It was unbelievable. I was like, man, what are you doing?
Straight up. What do you do?
What do you do, man, bro? How do you got? Because I grew up where you may have a house, but it's a trailer.
Right, it's a ranch.
It's a single wide, a double wide, a triple wide. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're doing it if you got a triple wide, and you're really balling if you get a triple wide and you brick it in. So y'all looking at me with blank stares.
I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Brick it in.
I'm thinking about them RVs that come out a little bit when you press a button. Like, I'm thinking like single wide, double wide.
Talking about the Goofy movie RV?
Yeah. Say, I'm gonna need y'all to Google what a single wide, double wide trailer is, and that triple wide. That's where you get fancy. You can get a pool in the back with that. But they brick it in to make it look like
it's
a single family ranch house that you would see on the street.
Wow.
It protect you from the hurricanes. Like, you don't want to have.
So you brick it in. So
brick it in.
Stable. Yeah.
Like, you literally put bricks all around it.
Mm-hmm.
There you
wow.
go. Most people have like a single wide with brick steps, like the cinder blocks that y'all see.
Yeah.
And the wind will come around and knock that thing right over. Okay. So I go back and say, because that's what my mind was thinking. Like, man, these guys are really doing it. I want to come to Atlanta. And I came to Atlanta. I was like, man, I got to find me one black brother that I can find out. Because I was like, man, y'all doing it down here in Metro Atlanta. I met one who had a 2-story house. I see another person over here. He got, XYZ car. I see how y'all living here. My first experience in Atlanta, I actually moved to Lithonia. I got big houses over there, big yards. I'm like, man, everybody doing over here.
Right, what you trapping?
What
they trapping?
They might be.
So but I couldn't find anybody to mentor me. I reached out to organizations here, and I couldn't find anybody to to mentor me.
Black organizations or just in
course.
general?
And that's the sad thing about here in Atlanta. I see that a lot. Like you ask for help, or it's specifically black men. You know, I just want some guidance. You know,
Correct.
no handouts. I just want
Correct.
guidance. And
I work.
It's hard to find that.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's crazy. That
So you tried it too, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm still reaching out. Shoot, I hope I find somebody. You know.
Well, here's the thing: you found one.
Come on, hey.
Okay, so you have to look no further. 'Cause my thing is, like when I said, if I make it, it's my responsibility to make sure I reach back to another person. I ain't gonna give you handouts.
For sure.
I'm gonna tell you what you need to do.
For sure.
I can tell you this thing that has helped me succeed. It's only right. There's enough business in Atlanta for everybody. It's enough for us to all get on. You know, so one thing I know that's helped me get my thinking right. You know, so I got around a mentor. My mentor is a white guy. His name is Cal Holt. He's the CEO of our company, but he was in a position that I inspired to be. And he would not give me information at first. He got to see how you work. Like, are you willing to work?
Put it in.
Are you willing to
not
grind?
just all talk.
Correct. And you'll see that with youngsters that you want to help. You know, like, man, you better than this. You know, but they don't want to put in no work.
Right.
Like, you a hooper? Or you see a guy who can hoop, right? But he don't want to work on his game.
Yeah, he don't even want to try.
So let's say for like you look at a guy in the NBA right now, like how you in the NBA, you can get a shooting coach. You got the money to get a shooting coach. They can rub you down.
Can't hit a free throw though?
Can't hit a free throw. You can't hit a jump shot. What do you mean in the NBA you can't hit a jump shot?
That's
Shaq-
a mystery to me, for real.
Shaq the only one that could get the pass though.
Because he hit him when he needed to, though. But
Shaq made up for other ways, but he didn't. But Shaq didn't work on a jump shot like that though.
He didn't.
He worked on.
Shaq
other
wasn't in
things.
shape. That's the one thing.
That's
He-
why
he
Kobe
coulda
got
la-
mad.
He could have lasted. about-
I got mad too.
Yeah. So I got to run a mentor that took the time to help me develop, and I stay close to him, you know, religiously, and it helped. I mean, I've learned different experiences through him, you know, and helped me expand my thinking. I am like even for my kids right now, I want to make sure that they travel a little bit. I didn't travel. You don't even know there's a possibility of other things out there that you may like.
You ain't never lied on that one.
And give them new experiences. It's not like you're just showing them that you make money. It's not that. You got to show people different experience because their mind expands and you figure out there's possibilities. Like there's so many different ways you can make money. I didn't even know. I had no clue that real estate was one of them.
Right.
I had no clue.
So how was that adjustment period? Because you talk about your transition from where you grew up in the town you were in, and now you want to do better, and now you're in a new environment. You're learning. Like, what was that adjustment like? Because you said you went in there, you didn't know anything about real estate.
Correct. So, and this is not to be like to brag or anything, but I've always been good in a lot of things. So, like in school, I was good, but I never studied. I played 4 or 5 different instruments and can't read sheet music. Okay, I still could play.
So you saying drumline was
I was
based
about
off
to
your
say,
life?
so Nick Cannon.
I can play drums, trumpet, baritone, trombone, you know, things like that. I can't read music. I can just listen to it and do it, right? And I said to myself, like, I played football in college, and I didn't study film. You get what I'm saying? Like, I would cheat my work. I had to take a real perspective of myself. Like Shaun, you really didn't try hard when you was in college. You was doing other things. You were chasing the girls around campus.
You glided by.
I that'll do.
Yeah.
Good enough to get by. Good enough to get your name called on Saturday so you can play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good enough to put the jersey on. Good enough to get a sticker on your helmet, but not good enough to go the extra mile. That's like Shaun. Like, all right, Shaun, this is one thing in your life. How about you just take it 100% serious? And I had to make that commitment to myself. Like, all right, I've never taken anything serious. Let me at least take this serious. And you know what? If I take it serious and I fail, then at least I know I gave it 100%. Okay,
Heard that.
So that was my I had to make up myself. Nobody gave that to me. This is me.
I was gonna say the fact that you're willing to fail is kind of interesting, since that's the first big step that you ever taken. Like most people will be like kind of hesitant because I'm going into a whole new world and it's out of my comfort zone. But for you to say like I'm willing to fall and get back up like quick, do you notice that being unique, or do you think that was it your upbringing?
It wasn't unique. I'm a competitor. Like I'm competitive. It's like we got into this conversation. We started talking about hooping. He's like, let's go play. Like, all right, let's line it up. I'm gonna compete to the day I die, right?
Yeah.
I'm just a natural born competitor. But mostly for me is because, people in my family were telling me that, it's a wrong decision, or you ain't gonna be able to do this, or because look at you guys. I didn't start off being successful in this business, and it was a good 3-year period before I even got enough to replace my last income.
Mm-hmm.
So my family was like, he don't know what he's doing. He over there playing around. People said, like, how would you be more like your brother? So my brother is now the head over the whole mechanical engineering school at Georgia Tech.
Wow.
Why don't you be more like your sister? Well, my sister is a judge. Well, one of my sisters is a judge. One of my sisters is like a chief legal counsel for American Express. So I got my other sister's like a doctor. So I'm like,
That's good
Dang,
stuff.
I like that.
Come
No,
from
but
good
wait,
stuff.
wait,
Raised
here's
y'all
the
right.
What the hell?
Lord.
It must have
What
been
was
your
in them
upbringing.
halls?
No. It's
Listen, I ain't going back to the country.
But I was a black sheep of the family because I wasn't a valedictorian or salutatorian like the rest of my brothers and sisters.
Y'all sound like the Black Avengers. Like y'all doing everything.
Y'all the new Cosbys.
The new
We gotta do the new Johnsons, bro. We can't say Cosby no more.
All right.
Y'all
I'm sorry,
blackish.
Bill.
we think blackish. We just grew up with a strict upbringing. My dad was in the military, so like drill sergeant style. He was just strict with that. But nightmares. No, my dad was good.
It's that do it right or do it again.
Yeah, you're gonna sit here until you do it right? So, I had something to prove to them, because like when you start getting older, like like my kids, my sister kids, they got certain toys, they can do the certain camps, and then my brother kids can do certain things. At some point, I'm gonna have kids, right? And you don't want your kids going to their cousin's house like, what daddy do? Like,
Right.
They got all the good toys over here. They got all the good stuff. I mean, it's like seriously, you got to start thinking about like.
Yeah, they crying when they coming back
You
home.
look back, wow,
Yeah,
that's
like-
crazy.
And you start like you get around smart people or people who are doing successful, and you realize like, man, this guy ain't that damn smart. Like I'm just as smart as he is.
Yeah.
Like
Or
you
she
don't
is.
know nothing,
You don't know nothing. Like
so you might as well hire me.
come on, man.
You feel me?
So at each one of y'all jobs that you guys at Fifth Third, you work at Fifth Third, right?
Oh yeah.
You got a manager. You think that's stupid? Don't have to answer on camera.
Nah. My manager, my dog. That's my dog.
I ain't say your head manager, but you ain't never met a manager of some department.
Oh yeah, they don't know nothing.
They don't know
Of
nothing.
course.
All right, then.
I could be doing your job.
Come on, man.
I could be reading out of a knowledge bank or whatever that we got a little search engine for stuff. I could read my position and do it. That's what they doing. If Donald Trump is qualified for president, I could be qualified to take your spot.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
so don't give me limitations.
You know, Barack Obama did something for us, but Donald Trump did something for us as well too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
If he can get in office, I know I can.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's the
absolutely.
American dream. He give you that hope.
It gives you hope.
It's a fucked up way to look at it, but it's still hope.
So,
Now, do you feel that if, like you were saying throughout college and growing up through high school all the way to now, do you feel like you were you gliding or displaying that you were kind of gliding through? Do you feel like it was necessarily that, or do you feel like your parents just didn't not necessarily not support, but like they didn't want to support what you were doing? Like, do you feel like it was you from a certain standpoint, or do you feel like you wanted the extra push and you had to prove something to them to show them that I can take something seriously 100%?
I think it was more so on me at that point.
Okay.
I think it was more so on me. Like I don't like to fail. Like I haven't failed at anything. Like so I've been good enough to just get by that where you still get the accolades, you still get a trophy. So you weren't proven as a failure.
Okay.
This mortgage business, when I got into the business, you don't get any money. Like you don't get a draw, you don't get a paycheck if you don't close. So when you go 3-4 months without closing anything and you ain't got no money coming in, like a failure. And I remember this. I haven't told this story too many times, but I remember I was going into work one morning and I was stressed out, man. I'm late on my rent. I got a car that I bought when I was a store manager that I can't even drive because the CV joint's bad and I can only turn left. So I had to have somebody
That's a
pick
long
me up.
way to the work. To work.
You may only make
How many
lefts.
how many lefts does make it right? Is it 3 lefts?
You gotta make 3 less, then you going where you supposed to go.
Yeah. So I used to have somebody come pick me up to take me to work. Then I have to have somebody drop me off from work and take me home, right?
And this before Uber.
This is before Uber. I wish Uber was I couldn't afford Uber, so it didn't even matter, you know? So, I was walking into work that morning, and my mom had called me because they religious, so that she's always praying on me. And she's just like, you know, I just want you to go do something else. I don't think this is going to be good for you. And I'm up all night. One thing as you know, your mama's boy, you don't want to upset mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm already like the pressure of the world on me to perform. And my mom over here crying on the phone. And I got off the phone, man. I had one of them Cuba Gooding Jr. moments, right?
You was punching the air?
With the OJ?
No. Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Boys in the Hood, you know?
I hope it ain't OJ.
No, hell no.
This is if you went wrong. I was gonna say, turn it off.
Not that.
Oh, mama back. Okay. Call him.
All right. So I must be talking to millennials. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I'm talking the Boys in the Hood moment.
Gotcha.
If you ain't seen it, you gotta go watch.
Nah, I
It's
see
a-
Boys in the
it's
Hood.
a-
I
It's
know
a
what you're
classic scene in there where he went in a room and started just punching. He was crying so hard,
Yeah.
started punching the air. I don't cry a lot, you know. So I was in there crying in my office, I was punching the air because I had wanted it so bad, you know what I'm saying? So I just kicked it up a notch on what I needed to get done, and you know, and I made it that day. I was like, man, I'm keeping all my bank statements. I'm keeping everything that's happening bad to me. Because I said one day somebody's not gonna ever believe that I was this broke. And I'm talking about like where like we would have like a office luncheon, whatever, and I would just take all the food home after everybody ate through it.
I heard that.
Or
You just being resourceful.
Right, make it
Come on,
stretch.
man.
Yeah.
Man, listen, I would get a couple dollars in my pocket, and I would go to like a Publix and get me a loaf of bread, and I already had my peanut butter and jelly in the cabinets at work. I'd just be making peanut butter jelly sandwiches all day long at that like a 98 cent bread that they get at Walmart, a great value, whatever. You can make it work. You can make anything work if you want it bad enough, right?
Yeah.
So it always gets me to this day because people think like I've always been where I'm at. It took a long time to get to this point. And that's why like I've been through something to where I can show others, you know, there's a bright side on the other end. But the thing is, you gotta be honest with yourself about how much work you putting in. Like that's one thing, you can't cheat the system. You can't cheat. You can't cheat it, right? You gotta put that work in when nobody else is looking. It's almost like what Rick Ross said, like, was you with me when I was shooting jumpers in the gym?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like nobody knows how much jumpers Quad was putting up over the summer, trying to get right for this one moment.
Absolutely.
Like you just don't get that overnight, right? So that's kind of how that played out.
Yeah, it's like all the things we go through, it leads you to the moment you at right now, and you either gonna do something with it or you not. And as far as what y'all got going on right now, the paths have aligned to where I've been seeing it on Instagram. I've been seeing it in the city. I've seen billboards. I've seen commercials, interviews.
Go Gooru.
Right, y'all got the campaign going right now.
That's what I'm saying.
So I want to touch on that, the meat and potatoes of what that is really about. So for listeners who don't have any idea or haven't even heard of the Go Gooru, what would be words you tell them? How would you introduce them to this concept, this campaign?
So the Go Gooru campaign is to help educate buyers on how to buy a home, and also the importance of leveraging real estate for your financial portfolio. You know, Go Gooru is an awesome opportunity. Like it's almost coming from like where I was at. Like I couldn't spell mortgage. I didn't know anything about mortgage. Nobody taught you about, like, you don't go to school. They don't teach you about real estate, the importance of real estate. They don't teach you how to buy real estate, purchase it.
They don't.
They teach you how to be a worker, right? So
Perfect word.
So what I want to do is make sure that we know the importance of buying a home. How do you get access to the capital to purchase a home? You know, how does that home help you in the long run? You know, because a lot of us get scared of making a commitment to a home. And it's the same thing I went through as a young adult. Like I don't want to be over here and telling you guys, stories that I didn't live. Mm-hmm. I came to Atlanta. I moved. I lived in a lot of different apartments. Coming to Atlanta, nobody told me to, Shaun, you need to purchase. Nobody like sat me down like, Shaun, you making this kind of money. Stop standing in line at Foot Locker for them Jordans that you don't even wear no more. 9 years later, you ain't wearing them no more. Or you don't need to go XYZ. Say this right here, and you can have this in the long run. Funny thing about it, like when I was working in Atlanta about in 2005, 2006, I was working in Old Fourth Ward. You guys familiar with the area?
A little bit, yeah. I've driven through it a little bit, yeah.
All right, but Old Fourth Ward used to be the hood in Metro Atlanta. Like outside of the building I worked, used to have a lot of drug deals, crackheads, prostitutes, whatever, going on. And I used to work at this building called Troy Peerless Laws, all right? And I was like, man, who in the world wants to live over here? Now, fast forward, Troy Peerless Laws is right across from Ponce City Market.
Wow.
I was gonna say that neighborhood
that's
changed.
It done transformed.
All right, so you fast forward today, and hope you guys know, Old Fourth Ward was predominantly us, black men, black women, black children. It ain't no more.
Nowhere near it.
So those same homes that were going for $140, $150, the asking price in Old Fourth Ward right now today is starting at 1.4 in townhomes on the Beltline. 1.4 million.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So what if I had purchased that home in that neighborhood in 05? Mm-hmm. And you mean to tell me I could have waited 13 years to have that kind of equity?
I'll sell quick.
We don't be thinking that far.
Yeah.
But bro, you're not supposed to sell.
I'm selling 1.5.
Hey,
What?
did y'all listen to Jay-Z at all? I know y'all young cats don't
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Jay.
Oh,
Come on
no,
now,
I like
give us
Jay
some
now.
credit,
Okay.
dog.
Yeah,
So,
I'm
all
a
right.
90s baby now. Early.
Okay, all right.
I listen to Jay.
You sound like a Baptist preacher over there too.
Nah, he just dressed like one.
Okay, all right. But look, like Jay tried to give some knowledge on what he wished he would have did instead of buying all those Mercedes and rings and watches. If he would have just brought property in Brooklyn.
And Dumbo.
Yeah.
So I went to Brooklyn 2 weeks ago, and I decided to look at the real estate there. I couldn't find anything under $2.4 million.
Wow.
And these used to be crack houses. Like I was laughing at my friends, like, man, this ain't the Brooklyn that Biggie was talking about.
Oh, no. That's been gone.
It's been gone.
Best die.
Okay, but the funny thing about it's happening all in Atlanta right now. All that stuff is happening in Atlanta, where you can go into some of our neighborhoods that are going to be transitioning and get these properties super cheap. Our properties. Our people are still living in it right now.
I feel like they're doing
We
that
want the
in,
secret to that.
Edgewood.
Huh?
I see that happening in Edgewood. Like,
Yep.
I'm starting to see
Edgewood getting
Edgewood
cleared
is
out.
already their prices are already starting to go way up already. You're not even. I mean, that's almost too late.
To get in. West End.
Look, you can get into it, but I'm just saying, like, the prices are higher. I'm talking where you could have got properties like $60,000, $80,000.
Still.
So, like, right now on the west side of Atlanta, right now they're developing that. They got a park called the Bellwood Quarry Park. It's supposed to be like 2-3 times big as Piedmont Park. So people are buying up all the properties around that right now.
Wow.
The West Side Beltline, like, it's old traditional black communities that people just buying. Like, you guys think that AUC is gonna look the same in a couple years on the West End? It ain't gonna look the same.
Is that the
Down
West End Mall?
By the West End Mall.
Yeah, I heard that just got bought out.
Who down there by the West End Mall? What kind of people down there?
Black.
Okay.
Black, all black.
Well, give it 2 years and see what happens. When you start seeing Mary Ann jogging down the street with a stroller,
I always say, if you see a white woman jogging at 4 a.m., that's a white neighborhood now. It ain't black no more.
but what happens when they move in? The property values shoot up, right?
Yeah.
And you start seeing Whole Foods move in. You start
Sprouts.
seeing Sprouts going all over the place,
I
right?
didn't even know it was a Sprout. I was like, what is Sprouts?
All right, so the thing of it is, like, you got to realize what that property that you can get really cheap right now. Like, they got properties, y'all, like $8,000. Like, literally, y'all could put y'all credit cards together and get a property and just sit there and wait.
Hold on, wait, $8,000? Where them properties at? Wait,
I was
man,
about to say,
what?
Listen, but you want to find like spend some time going to Atlanta planning development, meetings, so you can know what's going on in the city. Okay.
Atlanta Plan and Development.
Okay, so these are the
For
secrets.
the listeners.
But you got all kind of things that you can be involved in the city. Like when Keisha, the mayor, Lance Bottoms, got on, like she first got, inducted into the mayor, or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
She came out and said, like, if you know somebody on the west side of Atlanta, and in your family, tell them to keep that property.
Okay, she shot her wisdom out, though.
But how many people heard that and listened to it? Because what investors they'll do is they'll go to your grandma's house, your cousin's house, and say, hey, look, I'll give you $100,000 right now for your house.
Don't
Make
do
it sound. They'll make it sound good.
Matter of fact, I'll give you $150. So
Cash.
you haven't. Now think about it. Now I'm that same guy. Before I moved to Atlanta, I hadn't been around anybody. If somebody offered me $100,000 to live in my house, what I
gone.
say? I'm gone. I'm out.
I'm
But
out.
today,
That's like $1 million to somebody in the hood.
Come on, man.
Wow.
Hey, if somebody took $5,000 from you today, you ready to fight them, right?
Kinda.
If they take a nickel,
All right.
$5,000
Well,
phone.
let's keep it real. That's just how it is,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So to some people, $5,000 ain't nothing.
Good point.
But if I give you $100,000 now, it's like, man, I'm balling now. I'm about to go to Lenox Square and buy everything. I'm about to go to this club and buy all the bar, all the bar. I'm just about everything I can get. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not knowing that that property is going to be worth, the land itself is worth $250
Alone.
alone.
Wow. All you had to do was wait.
All you gotta do is wait.
well,
All you
first you
gotta
have
do
to
is
know
wait.
the information.
You
That's
gotta-
what it sounds like you're
Correct.
saying.
You gotta know the information.
And it started when you were making that transition in life, as far as you were seeking knowledge, and you were going to wherever you had to go to get it. And that's what I feel like with people in our community, not just black people, just people in general, young people, we don't always either seek the knowledge or we don't know where to go to it. And we're sometimes afraid to go that distance to go get it.
Correct.
Or sometimes it's too slow for us because we always want something so fast.
Yeah.
Everything is just so fast paced, and if it ain't quick enough, we just gonna leave it behind instead of just
Yeah,
paying
'cause
attention to
you
the
talking
devils and
about-
the details.
You talking about decades waiting for something to quadruple, 10 times it's worth. And like you said, Willie, like some people they want quick money.
and we don't think that we're gonna work that long anyway.
All right,
Getting
so-
far less.
So here's the thing: is if you don't want it to quadruple, you're still going to make equity in a property. You're still going to get something.
Right.
So like you had the mindset, I got to sell it. You had the mindset, I'm gonna hold it. It's up to you. The only thing is that you can make the decision for yourself. If you don't own, you can never make that decision.
Come on.
You see what I'm
Come
saying?
on. First
Now,
step.
here's the thing: is if you rent, you paying off somebody's mortgage. It ain't yours, but you paying off somebody else's mortgage. If I own an apartment building, I bought it. I'm trying to get you in there so you can pay my mortgage balance down. And at some point, I can turn around and sell it to another investor, and I walk off with cash because you paid it down for me. So why aren't you doing it for yourself?
And you better not still be living in the house too. They'll kick you out. Give you 30 days. You gotta go. They coming.
So
And you better not damage nothing going out.
And you
I
better
got
not
your-
damage
I got your
nothing.
security deposit right here, and you ain't getting it back.
So Kim, how did you fall into this? How did you become a part of this whole movement?
Well, one day, Garden asked me, was there something that I wanted to do that I haven't done? And I was like, yeah. You guys know I worked in leasing, and I was like, I want to get my real estate license. That's something I just want to do. And he actually set up a meeting with me and Shaun. And we had a meeting, and Shaun said, okay, so what do you want to do? Basically just, wanting to get my perspective on why I wanted to get into real estate. And even when he was talking to me, he was breaking these numbers down. I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. From there, he gave me a mentor. We've stayed in touch. We've had that same genuine relationship and building towards where we're at now. That's where we started. And then since then, I went to school and I got my real estate license, and in working with Carmichael Garden Group, that was their marketing team currently for Southeast Mortgage. I just kind of got thrown in there in terms of educating on what we wanted to do. And it was a good thing for me too, because it was an opportunity for me to learn, an opportunity for me to learn the things that we really didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so with Shaun and their company wanted to go out to the public, basically for me, I just made it into, you know, it was educational for us. It was something that was going to be beneficial, not just for their company, but for also our community in itself. And the only way that I could think about it was doing a campaign and being relevant for the next 30 days. And then not even just being relevant, but being informative and giving out education. And that's how we really got to this point. And from there, to be honest, in the beginning, we really, you know, we never really ran a campaign. We really didn't know, you know, how it was going to turn out. But in just genuinely talking to people, we got to know that most people don't know. And it's not necessarily that they're not ready or they can't afford to buy homes. They just don't know the process. They don't know the foreign terminologies. And that was just what it was for us, that we wanted to be that voice for people, whether it was in the streets, in the corporate world, wherever it was going to be. We were just going to educate them no matter what. If we were going to stand at the belt line and, you know, try to get people to stop running, and we were just going to quickly tell them to follow us on, you know, on Instagram, we were going to do whatever it took to basically just spread that knowledge. And that's really how we got here.
And that's kind of what I wanted to ask you too, because you're kind of obviously you're more in the same position as us. Like,
Yes.
home ownership is a goal of yours.
Yes.
What now with this campaign? Like, are you seeing like is it doing for the people what you all expected? I know you had you probably had the vision a while back, and now it's just getting in motion and getting in gear. But as far as you coming in relatively new, like, are you seeing it do something for people?
I still think that it's still a little bit scary. We're not even into a month into this campaign. So we're just now becoming, like you saw, seeing us on Instagram, seeing us on the billboard, hearing us on the radio or anything like that. So we're just now introducing what we really want to do. And sometimes we have drawbacks, but to be quite honest, I've definitely seen different people learn from just hearing Shaun talk, whether it's a podcast interview or him being a guest speaker when we have networking events. There are people who are very in tuned, and whether they want to be the person that raises their hands and says they don't know something, people listen. And whether or not they're willing to admit that, you know, they learned something, people will. Because even for myself, like in doing this campaign, I don't know everything. And, you know, jumping into this real estate game, I'm still learning. And in doing so, I've learned for myself, so I know others around me have learned also.
Yeah, it seems like a wake-up call for real. When I was saying it, I started looking into it a little bit more, and I'm like, okay, hold on. This is like what you think in your head, like you're looking for, but then you never went out and tried to get that information yourself. But now it seems like y'all are making it really easy and accessible for people to do that and get that information.
You know, people, the other thing, people is just stubborn here too. That's what I learned to find out. You can always bring the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink it. You know, I could tell people all day that, you know, you don't need to have the best credit to be a homeowner. And they still don't want to take that knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You can tell people that all you need is sometimes 2-3% to put down on a home. Would you pay $3,000 to get a $180,000 home? Like, wouldn't that make sense to you? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, and people just don't really take that information in, or when they don't want to execute, or they don't want to act like they want to learn something. And so that could be frustrating, you know, as well.
I feel like we used to people, though, like, not working with us. And so we try and, like, that scares us when we going in a situation, somebody telling us, like, oh, no, you good. Like, we can do something for you no matter what position you in. But then we've had so much experience at going the opposite way, and we get knee deep in a situation, and now it's like, oh, y'all couldn't help us as much as y'all thought. And so I can understand hesitation, because I've had it the same way. Like, I've had good credit before, where I was going out trying to get loans. I was getting credit cards into my name, but then that shit bit me in my ass. And now when my credit dropped, it's like, now I feel stuck. You know what I'm saying? And then I felt like people weren't ready to work with me.
But it's also, if you did your research too, like this 10 years ago, you know what I'm saying, that was when the housing crisis happened. And some people still remember that. Or some people, we were probably younger, but you can still see like the looks on our parents' faces if you were affected by it. So some people are still skeptical of dealing with banks and all that when it comes to loans, and, you know, because people got screwed over and still, you know, are trying to get out of that hole. So that's why I see what you're saying, Swap.
But because of the market, you're saying just
the market is good now. That's what they say.
What would
but-
y'all say to the people who are skeptical still?
Well, so what I'm trying to do with the campaign is make sure I present material on your level. Like, it shouldn't be on the level that I understand it. So if I start talking in level of VOEs, VORs and stuff like that, you guys don't know what it is. UWs, you guys won't understand that. I got to keep it on a level that you understand. So like, what my thing is, so you can take the skepticism out of it, is if you fully understand it yourself. Mm-hmm. When I tell you something, I can tell you where to go look for that information, so you fully understand. You shouldn't get into a situation that you don't understand. So what makes me mad is that most of people in your generation, what they look at, they'll do more research for the iPhone that comes out. They know everything about what the iPhone is going to do. Mm-hmm. And then when it goes to the home ownership process, they don't know what's going on. And they expect for somebody to tell them, and they just follow blindly. You shouldn't ever just follow stuff just blindly. You should always research. Mm-hmm. You should not be able to tell me more about a $1,000 iPhone versus a $150,000 house. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So my goal is to try to help, lead you to where you can do certain research. You get stuck on your research, you can reach out and, I can help you. All right. So you misinterpret it here, That's kind of what you go to church for, right? The preacher's supposed to help you understand.
Digest the word, whatever the case.
Thank you, Pastor.
Come on.
but you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So the more you fully understand the process, nobody can just lead you anywhere. Mm-hmm. Like, technically, of course, I want you guys to work with Southeast Mortgage. I would love for you to do that, but honestly, I just want you to have that knowledge so you feel comfortable. You may not purchase right now, Mm-hmm. Instead of listening to Charlie at your job who bought one house in his lifetime and he had shaky credit and he had a bad experience, or Susan had excellent credit and she had a very good experience. Nobody's two situations are the same. I mean, you guys sitting here, neither one of you guys had the same amount of money in your bank account. Neither one of you guys had the same credit scores or apply for the same credit. It's just all going to be different. That's why you just can't depend on somebody else's experience, because everything has to be tailor-made to your personal experience in life. That's just.
Speaking of that, when your dealings with how you got into the position you're in, you met a lot of good people that were willing to help you out. When it comes to you being on the other end, as far as you being able to help out other people, how are those interactions like with black folk? It seems like you met a lot of good black folk on your way. Mm-hmm. Is it easy? Because you ooze a lot of positivity. Is that easy, or is it that hard when you're dealing with our people?
All right. So my business was built off the backs of African Americans here in Metro Atlanta. Okay. So I'm dealing with finance. Okay. It takes a little while for white people to trust you. That's just real talk. Okay. I came to Atlanta. I thought, Atlanta, this is black Atlanta. I thought we kind of ran things in Atlanta, and certain market we might run at the airport.
That's what I thought.
You thought the same thing, but when you get into finance, it's not ran by us. Mm-hmm. Like your most affluent areas in Atlanta, if you want to live there, who's there? Sandy Springs, Roswell, Alpharetta, Buckhead, East Cobb, Vinings. I mean, list goes on. Like, who dominates that particular area?
Ackworth, Lithonia.
We're not gonna throw Lithonia.
They shaky. They shaky.
But so I have to do certain things to appeal to them. So my business started off just working with us, and what happened is I got very, very good at credit repair, because if I didn't get good at it, I don't eat. Remember I told you I was going a long time without eating. Mm-hmm. So I had to learn how to fix people's credit without sending you to a credit repair person that's going to charge you $500 and you come back to me and you still nothing's done. Mm-hmm. I see that all the time. So like, credit repair people, why are you even wasting money over there? They're going to make you pay $500 to tell you the same thing I'm telling you over here what you need to do. If you're going to spend $500, you better spend it on yourself to pay your credit card down.
Spend it on me. Shoot, you going to give him $500. I'm giving you the game for free.
I'm giving it to you for free.
Throw me the file.
So the thing is, I got very good at that. But you also got to understand, like, most people come to me, they don't believe they can get into a home. So I got to be positive. It's like if you get on the plane and the captain ain't positive that y'all going to get to y'all next destination, what you going to do?
Yeah, I ain't going to be that happy.
Huh? You going to get on the plane and get off?
Nah, if you got
I
to
ain't
pep
getting
talk
on.
the pilot, you're right.
You got to get off, right?
That's what it feel like flying Frontier. That's what it is. Sometimes
Do not.
Spirit
Hey,
better
look,
pray.
hey,
Spirit.
hey, look, pay a little bit
Spirit
more
for
and get
sure.
yourself on Delta, man. If anything else, U.S. Airways, are they still around? But at least get on. You pay for the experience, right? So, like, even the game last night, everybody's looking up to that leader, Kawhi. Like, he's got to be positive. Like, he got to believe that y'all gonna win. You know, you can't go into anything thinking that you're gonna lose. So a lot of people come to me, they already beat, they rejected. Somebody ain't helped them. Somebody overpromised them. Say, hey, look, no matter what kind of situation they're in, we're gonna get you in. It's almost like the car dealer. Good credit, bad credit, slow credit.
Come on
Come
in.
on
Right.
in.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
It don't work like that in the mortgage side. But what I tell people is, you know, no matter where you at, if you're willing to work, I'm gonna get you to the finish line.
There's a path for you.
It's a path for you. And you guys, y'all out of school for a little while. It ain't too long ago that y'all graduated high school, right?
Yeah,
I know.
man.
2011.
When
8
y'all
years
cla-
ago.
8 years ago? How,
Yeah, we
how
came
long
out
how long does that feel to you?
Man, forever.
Feel like forever ago?
Forever. Yeah, man.
I feel like it just happened.
That's how I feel. Did you go to college?
Yeah.
How long ago you graduated college?
4 years ago now.
4 years ago?
Now that just happened.
Yeah, that feel more recent than high school.
I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
giving you different
Yeah.
things you can draw back on. That's still 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So if I got to work with you for a year to get you right, and you get into a home, what time? Y'all got time. Like,
We
y'all
have
young.
it.
You
Yeah.
got time. But you can't expect to come. If I say, hey, look, I got to come to them not saying, no, you're not approved. It's just, hey, look, these are the things that we got to work on. Now, one thing I do is I can't fix everybody's credit if I got to work harder than you are.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to be the guy to keep following up with you to telling you what you got to do, and you ain't trying to do it. I'm not going to like my thing is somebody asked me the other day, like, what's the first step in home ownership? I was like, first thing you got to do is you got to want the house. You got to want to own a house. Because I can't be coaxing you into wanting a house because I'm fighting a battle that only I want to win. You ain't trying to win with me, right? So you got to make up your mind, hey, this is something I want to do for me and myself and my family. You know, this is something I gotta do. And if you have that attitude, I can get you there because you're gonna be hungry for the attitude. Like Shaun, I just paid down my Victoria's Secret bill. Boom, send me the stuff. I'm gonna get that updated. What's next? I need you to do this. You know, a month later, 3 months later, hey, I just got it down to the level you told me to do, and I saved XYZ in this account. Boom, I know you working. We working together. You know what I'm saying? But you call me in January and I say, hey, you got to do this right here. And 3 months later, what was that you tell me I got to do? I already know you ain't working on nothing. And I don't make money if I don't close loans. So I get tired of going to somebody's credit report over and over and over. Like, why would I waste my time?
On helping you, you want to help it yourself.
You want to help yourself. So
Do you feel like it's you also being, you know, working with people like that? Do you feel like it's a lot of coaching and counseling? Because I've, you know, through my experience, I see that home ownership, those first stages, getting the deal, it could be tedious. You know, you go through a lot of the reports, a lot of your statements. You know, it could be a very tedious process. So how do you like kind of keep the customer, quote unquote, wrapped in? Like, do you feel like it's a lot of your personable experience, you know, you and yourself, or is a lot of like coaching, counseling help? Like, what helps you get through the process so you can actually close the deal?
You know, me myself, I got a pretty good sized team that helps out.
Nice.
On my stuff now. We do a lot of transactions, but however, I always took this approach to anybody I work with is that I want to explain documentation, and I want to treat that person just like it was my mom coming in, you know,
Okay.
because my mom, she's not a college graduate, you know, or anything like that. So like I remember one time we were riding in a car with my sister, and me and my sister in the back seat, and my mom was up front. I was like, hey, cut the radio up, Ma. and she over there fidgeting with the air conditioner knob and all this kind. She don't know what's going on, right? So I gotta be able to, like I tell people, once you get in front of me, I'm not just working for this deal, I'm working for the next deal, because I gotta do a very good service for you where you feel super comfortable with what I'm doing for you, to where you could be my raving fan when I'm not around. So my business is all repeat business and referral business.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth. That's the best business I can get. So I've done mamas, daddies, uncles, kids. I've done the whole family tree, because if you treat somebody real good, they're going to tell somebody else about it.
And at least that take the first layer of distrust
Correct.
out of the equation.
Yeah.
How long did it take for both of you to get the knowledge about real, like, because you mentioned the learning curve,
Okay.
and I'm sure when you was in school too, Kim, like you had a learning curve. Like, how long did it take to like be comfortable to be able to be like, all right, now I can preach this, I can give the word now.
All right, so mine is going to be a little bit different, simply because this is the first time I said, like, I wanted to make sure I knew everything. Like, I wanted to take this serious. So I went and started studying. And unfortunately for me, it was during the time where anybody could get a loan in America. Like, you was breathing, all you had to do was just sign your name. But I had to know it. I didn't know anything. I didn't know any better, because I just got into the business, So it's like 2004, 2005. But before I got in front of you, I had to make sure I knew everything. So it took me a good 2.5 years to feel comfortable, like really comfortable, because you're gonna meet people that don't know anything, and you got people that know a little bit. They internet savvy. They done read a couple articles, and they're gonna come and try to stomp you to make sure that you know what you're talking about, right? So it took me about 2.5 years to do that. And after I got comfortable, guess what happened? The market crashed, and everything I learned, the programs were no longer available. So I had to hit a reset. So it took a little while longer to learn things. And I would not be, I don't want to lie to anybody. There's nobody in my business that knows every single thing about mortgages, about real estate. If they tell you they do, they're lying. But that's why I got a huge team behind me to help me know stuff I don't know. I just know more than the person that's sitting across the table from me. But there's certain circumstances that I may have to go ask my underwriter, have you ever done with this deal? Or can you help me review this right here? Or let's call HUD and make sure that what I'm thinking is what they think. We have to draw on other people's knowledge, So I'm never going to say I know everything, but I'm good enough to be real dangerous with it.
Touché.
I'm still learning. To me, I mean, when it came to real estate, like I said, I wanted to do real estate. Then I started going to class in school, and I'm like, why did I want to do this? I'm like, I don't even know. At first it was very discouraging, but kind of like Shaun, it was an opportunity for me to do something that I really wanted to do, that I really set my mind to doing. And I sat and I wrote 500 note cards. I listened to podcasts. I watched YouTube videos. Like, I sat there and just did what I had to do in order to get to a level where I was comfortable enough to just even take my school final. And to be honest, my first time I took my state for real estate, I failed. I failed by 6 points. And I just remember I cried. And then after a while, like talking to my mom and, praying in it, I just went back to the drawing board. I just kept learning what I missed, what I may have missed the last time that I failed. And I just kept trying. And to this day, even with, joining Keller Williams and getting into this whole campaign, I'm still learning. I'm not at a point where I can say that, I'm comfortable with everything, but I'm definitely going to get there. And I don't know how long it'll take, but until it does and it, manifests for me the way I want it to, I'm going to still always be learning what I need to. So
that's what's up, y'all. No, for real, because like I was telling, like we've been toting, like this is a goal for a lot of people, especially in our generation, but we just don't know how to go about it. So I'm glad that there's something out here that's really just making it flat out simple, putting it in our face, whether it be the billboard, Instagram. We're always on the social media, so it's just making it clean cut for us. But we still gotta want it. So this is a message out there to y'all. Y'all got a resource now. We rolling out the carpet for you. You got somewhere to go, at least bounce off. I know I'm about to be on my shit. I'm about to get on the grind. Kim, I'm gonna be hitting you up. Shaun, I'm gonna be hitting you up. I'm trying to join the train. I want to be a homeowner too.
Real talk, I need to be a homeowner. They was talking about if you pay $1,500 for 5 years straight, that's like, I think, equivalent to $100,000 that you didn't put into nothing. And it's like, bruh, 5 years, you been paying on an apartment, you ain't got nothing to show?
Nothing.
Nick.
You might as well just go out to the balcony and just throw that money out every month. That's what you're doing at the first of every month. You just throwing out rent money because you ain't getting that back.
Right, and it seemed like our only option. You know what I'm saying?
Because
it seemed
it's
like
easier.
right. It's like the latter, home ownership. That's not for us right yet. That's not for us right now.
Right.
But I'm starting to see little signs. Trinkets that that's not the case. You
And
just got to make a way for yourself.
Yeah, and what we want to do with the campaign is whether or not it's for right now or later down the road. What we want to do is establish that genuine relationship where people are comfortable. Like Shaun said, they start peeling those layers and you're comfortable to call Shaun and say, okay, I did this and I'm working towards this. And, it doesn't have to be a right now for you to join what we're trying to do or to educate yourself and get that basic knowledge. And that's really, really quickly. So with Gooru is an online application through Southeast Mortgage that, just like you mentioned earlier, people like these fast things. In 15 minutes, you can literally get on your phone, you can sit there and you can apply. And from that application, that system can tell you whether or not you're pre-approved from a mortgage loan. And then outside of that, right after you're done and you complete that, there's a human that calls you, that literally checks in on you, whether or not you found any loan that was specific for you. They'll call you and they'll tell you what your next steps are, and they'll, guide you into what you need to do. And with Guru, with our Go Gooru campaign, it was that you can still be the guru of whatever it is that you're doing, wherever you may be in life, but you can also be a guru and an expert of your financial future and getting into home ownership. And you can make a different avenue for you outside of what it is that you're doing with your day-to-day job. Like you know what I'm saying? You can achieve that home ownership, and it's not impossible. It's just a matter of learning and being patient and really taking accountability of where you currently stand and where you want to go.
Well said. Well said. And that, as quick as that is, it's the instant gratification. Y'all get off that shit. Work for it.
Real talk.
Work for it. Grind.
You hear that, ladies?
Brick by brick. Brick up your house.
If your credit score ain't 750, don't even come over here.
All right.
If you ain't got your own home and you ain't think about it, don't come over here.
All right, he just getting personal now.
All right, I was about to say, who you talking to, dude?
It's on Tanisha in Iowa. Who you talking to? But yeah, we appreciate y'all coming through. Giving us all this information and telling us y'all story. You definitely inspired us in this room, and I'm sure you inspired others. So, is there ways that people can contact you? Via social media. I see you guys are active on social media a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can reach out to me on Instagram. My handle is Mortgage Mamba. If you don't know how to spell mortgage, it's M-O-R.
No, really though.
Yeah. M-O-R-T-G-A-G-E, and Mamba is M-A-M-B-A. I'm a Kobe Bryant.
Kobe, your favorite? I was about to say,
Yeah.
Kobe, your favorite player?
Yeah.
And then you can follow Southeast Mortgage on there. It tells you anything in terms of what we're doing with our campaign. And you can also visit Go Gooru. That's GOGOORU.com. And you can RSVP for our main event that we're having on the 27th. And you can also learn and read
29th.
more. Sorry, the 29th. I knew that.
That's how
The
busy
29th.
they is. Yeah.
It's the last Saturday of
All
June.
She got her hands full.
Yes.
I believe
Her
so.
hands full.
But it tells you can read about it. You can start, get a kick jump on beginning where you want to be.
Shout out Garden and the squad, man. They coming in here with the cameras, getting us dapped down. You feel me? Looking good.
He ain't undo his tie yet,
I
boy.
ain't-
What time is it?
I ain't even
It's the
gonna
longest he
work
had his
yet.
tie on all year.
It's a long day. Shout out my dog's social media. What?
His social media for their company and the marketing team is at the Carmichael Garden Group. And then his personal social media is marquise.garden. Yeah.
And Kim, what about you?
And my Instagram is at Kim Razil. That's KIMRAZIL. That is my Instagram.
What about you, Chill? How can
You can find me at Chill DLCHILL DEEILL. I'm ill.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, get at me at SWAF SWAFFFF.
And if you want to hear more about us in general, you know, we have plenty of other conversations where we try to, you know, educate the people. You can follow us at NDR 513. That's us for this week. We out. Peace.
Shout out Dead End.
Respect, no, no, no. Respect, no, no, no. Respect.